Hello, I've been expecting you. So you clicked on this video because you want to learn how to do no money down deals. Well, it's perfect because honestly, about 4 or 5 years ago, I found myself having negative $187.65 in my bank account, had a couple maxed out credit cards, and well, all I had really was just a dream. And for some reason, I bought into the myth that I needed money to invest in real estate because, well, that's what everybody was telling me. Right? But of course that applies to anything else. So in this video, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I, a 22-year-old kid at the time, bought an 8-unit apartment complex with no money down and no credit checks. Let's get to it. So no money down deals. Now I've heard a lot of controversy in terms of back and forth. Some people saying it's possible, no it's not possible. It's kind of like the 9/11 conspiracy theories, right? Where like some people are like, oh, it was an inside job. And other people are saying, no, it was real. But before we get into that, before you start thinking that you're on the weird side of YouTube, right? Congratulations, you're not. You are not on the weird side of YouTube. We're talking about no money down deals. So it was a bright, early afternoon in the summertime in the year of 2017. Your current host of this YouTube video, was around 22, early 23 years old. I get a call from my property manager, and I'm just working in the office at the time, and he gives me a call, and my property manager's like, Daniel, you gotta get down here right now. And all of a sudden I'm like, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Is Whoopi Goldberg in town? Like, what is this? You know? And I'm like, what's going on? You know, and he's like, dude, there's a deal and you cannot miss it. There's too much good of an opportunity. And I was like, all right, you know what I mean? And I never thought that I'd be buying an apartment complex with no money down. I honestly, that never crossed my mind. So I go there and instantaneously I kind of shut it down because, well, the complex is in bad shape. There's literally like a bike in front of the lawn, like the grass hasn't been cut in weeks, and just the place looks terrible. Now, as I continue this story, you guys are gonna start thinking to yourself, holy cow, this is a really bad deal, right? But once I start saying the numbers, you guys will agree with me. So I get down there, place looks terrible, and I walk into one of the units, and there's 4 units up top, there's 4 units down bottom, and I'm walking through one of the units down bottom. Well, it turns out the hot water tank in the top floor burst, and it affected 3 of the units in the bottom. And there was flooding, right? Not to mention that there were 3 squatters living in the building. And also 1 unit was stealing electric from another unit. I mean, everything wrong that you could ever think of with an apartment complex was going wrong. And here's the first lesson in this video is that don't run away from problems. Why? Because as entrepreneurs, what do we get paid to do? We get paid to solve problems. If there are no problems to solve, what value could we bring into the marketplace? So everybody wants to do no money down deals, right? If you looked across the YouTube atmosphere, right, the YouTube verse, so to speak, and you literally put no money down and you searched it, right, you would find tons and tons of video on no money down, no money down, no money down. Well, has it ever occurred to you that maybe that no money down isn't like this magic word, but rather it's a byproduct of you providing so much value that you are getting value back in return in the form of not having to put any money to acquire a building, nor any credit checks? Has that ever occurred to you, right? No money down deals, guys. So let me continue the story. So the building was terrible, and a couple other investors took a look at it, but they walked away because, again, they were afraid of the problems. So here's what we did. We learned a little bit more about the owner, the guy who owned the building, and we got to know his story. And that's key, guys. Again, we're problem solving. If you want to do no money down deals, then you got to solve problems, not only with the property, but with the person. Don't forget, business is always, always, always about people. Right? That's your word of the day, right? From your Uncle Danny. So we got to learn a little bit more about the seller, got to know his story, learned why he even bought that piece of real estate in the first place. And we got to a point where we negotiated 8 units. And we were able to buy it at $250,000. Now, before a lot of you guys say, oh, that's not that great, let me tell you why I was head over heels about buying this for $250,000. and then I'll get to the point where we talk about no money down. There was a building, so this is our 8-unit right here. Across the street, there was another 8-unit building. Now, all our units were 2-bedroom, 1-bath. The other building were all 1-bedroom, 1-bath. The same week I bought this building, this owner right here sold his building for $670,000. And I was able to acquire this building for a purchase price of $250,000. Now, before you guys start being like, oh, well, like, you know, you paid $250,000, you paid money out of your pocket. Not necessarily. So if you guys do a lot of research and you guys know how I acquire real estate buildings, you guys will know that I buy buildings on what's called owner financing. Now, I'm not going to get into that today because, well, that's a topic that honestly I can go on for hours upon hours upon hours. But today we're talking about how to buy an apartment complex for no money down. And when you want to do that, buy an apartment complex for no money down, you got to provide value. So what did we do? We provided speed. Because guess what? One of the biggest problems that the owner was facing at that time, one of the biggest pieces of adversity, was that he was called to go to court the very next week to deal with all the problems in this building, from the water tank, from the all the evictions, right? The squatters, right? The issues with, you know, the city really kind of came down on him. So we offered, hey, we can close this thing Tuesday of next week and we will go to court for you. So we offered speed. Right? And we negotiated $250,000, no money down, 4% interest, and no balloon. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what a balloon is, it's a long story. I mean, you guys could probably Google it, right? I'm not going to waste time trying to tell you because we're talking about how to buy an apartment complex with no money down. So we provided speed, we provided a 4% interest so that he could actually be our bank. And again, we're talking about owner financing, which we'll talk about another day, right? You can also check out some of our other videos in our channel. We do talk about owner financing and what that is. But for the sake of the example, let's go ahead and talk about this one, right? So we bought this property, no money down, and no time did I get my credit checked. And I also didn't have to offer what's called a personal guarantee. So we got it for no money down, but let me tell you guys about the best part. The best part is what we did to the building afterwards. So not only did we buy an 8-unit apartment complex for no money down, but what we did is we did what's called forced appreciate the property. That's mumbo jumbo for basically saying we increased the value of the building by increasing the income. So the current rent at that time for each unit was $650. Well, what did we do? The market rent was $950, so we raised the rent $200. Now, when you do that, when you raise the rent by $200 times 8, which gives us $1,600, and we multiply that by 12, let's see what we get here. You get 19. You should get 19,200, but let me double check. Yep, you get 19,200. What that does is that added income increases the value of your building, right? So again, I'm gonna shout out a lot of things here, guys, that may or may not make sense to you, but hopefully it will incentivize you and motivate you to watch our other videos on what it means. So apartment buildings get bought and sold on what's called cap rates. Right? Now, if a market is at an 8% cap rate, long story short, you divide that number right there, 19,200 by 0.08. We got 240,000 if you do that. If you divide 19,200 by 0.08, which is at 8%, meaning that that percentage is what properties get bought and sold for in that local market, is long story short what it's talking about. We get that number, it's 240,000. So what we did is we increased the value of the property by $240,000. And guys, guess what? By the end of this entire process, our building was worth $700,000. So we bought it for $250,000. It's worth $700,000 after we raise the rent, after we do the rehab. And now, guys, did we need to raise money to do the rehab? Yes, right? We had to raise $100,000 for us to be able to put rehab and fix up the property and do all that. But what did that get us, right? That got us $450,000 worth of equity. $450,000 worth of equity, meaning that out of this $700,000, I already have $450,000 paid off. So the main point in terms of that I'm trying to drive with you guys in terms of how to buy apartment complexes with no money down, right, is number one, learn how to solve problems and don't run away from problems, right? Do not run away. Problems are excellent. They're an opportunity for you to provide value, and value always follows money. Second, learn how to raise money, because in those situations, a lot of times you will need capital to increase and rehab and add value to the complex. So again, guys, if you guys want more information, because I know I went very fast, I spouted off a lot of information, feel free to check the description box below where I actually wrote a book. It's absolutely free. It's my early birthday, so it's my gift to you, right? So it's a book, literally 70 pages. You guys can get it done just like that. And it's actually on how I first started in the real estate investing realm, how I took my first step. So again, guys, hopefully this was helpful. This was how to buy an apartment complex with no money down. Go crush it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, this is Daniel.
And this is Sam.
We are the Kwak Brothers. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you want to see more content value that we put out like this, what should they do, Sam?
Go and hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell icon so you guys get notification for our upcoming videos.
That's right.